As you know, 4 years ago, I made a movie about Obama, and that focused just on him, on his peculiar anti colonialism. But Obama, it was always a kind of outsider, whereas Hillary is the ultimate insider. She is the leader of this progressive gang, as I call it, and she's the leader of the Democratic Party. So, with this movie, I decided to make a movie about Hillary, but also about the whole sordid history of the Democratic Party, a history that has been beautifully camouflaged by the progressives who have taken all the bad stuff that they did and swept it under the rug.
And in this movie, and you and I have talked about this before, like for instance, my background is Irish and American Indian, and I had family that had been forcibly removed way back in. Elizabeth Warren's ancestors, they were probably some of the individuals that helped round them up. And it was Democrats that actually supported this, just as it was Democrats, as you get into in your documentary, that supported actually suppressing women. They didn't support the suffrage movement. They didn't support civil rights. In fact, they led the filibuster, which was a record-setting filibuster on civil rights, the Civil Rights Act. They've always been on the wrong side of history, but the way that you see it presented in media and in pop culture, Dinesh, as you know, because you obviously targeted this in your documentary, is that it's Republicans, and they blame that Southern strategy, which you also hit.
Yeah, I think if you were to corral some people on the street and say, by the way, guys, which is the party of slavery, of segregation, of Jim Crow, of the Ku Klux Klan, of lynching, they would say, well, it's probably the Republican Party. No, that's actually the Democratic Party. I myself didn't know a lot of the stuff that's in this documentary and in the accompanying book, because a movie can only put out so much. I try to do chapter and verse in the book that offers a lot of stuff that's not in the movie. But I think the way that the progressives have been able to get away with this is, number one, they dominate academia, Hollywood, and the media. And when you control those three megaphones, you can put out a lot of false propaganda and get away with it. The other thing is that they've been very successful in taking the things that they did, that the Democratic Party did, and blaming them on the South, or blaming them just on America. America did this. This was Cory Booker at the convention. Well, if America did it, Dana, it would still be going on. Obviously, some Americans did it. Other Americans stopped them. So the Democratic Party actually has a horrible history of bigotry, corruption, and larceny.
Right.
And the Republican Party has a very honorable history.